This is crazy. It's very lopsided.
Please make your way to the other side of the cameras, please.
My name is Lori Cumble. I'm the council member for this district representing Fort Greene, Clinton Hill, Prospect Heights, Crown Heights, and parts of Bedford-Stuyvesant. And it is an honor, as well as a bittersweet moment, to be here today. And I want to thank all of you for coming today, because your presence means so much as we continue to preserve the legacy of a very dynamic, powerful, influential, and inspiring man. Dr. Dean Derrick Griffith is certainly a man worthy of our appreciation, worthy of us remembering, and worthy of us immortalizing his presence into the history icons of our time. I want to thank everyone for coming today. This is an important moment in Medgar Evers' history. Dr. Dean Derrick Griffith was an inspiring educator, trailblazer, mentor, colleague, and friend who will forever be known for his profound love of education and unwavering commitment to the educational advancement of our youth. Your presence here today demonstrates how important he was to this campus and the city of New York and beyond. Dr. Derrick Griffith had a special connection with out-of-school youth, often encouraging them to realize their full potential by pursuing higher education. Many of our very students looked to his sound advice and went on to earn college degrees and succeed as young professionals. I was listening today as they were reading on Forbes magazine the top hip-hop artists and how much money they have accrued. But at the same time, they didn't speak to the worthy work that could be done to make sure that so many of our young people actually have the opportunity to go off to college and receive advanced degrees. And I'll just say that nobody knows all of the work that one has to do to make sure that a young person succeeds. As they say, it takes a village to raise a child, and it's so important that we continue to honor the legacy of that village that he was a part of. Dr. Griffith was a graduate of Clara Barton High School for Health Professions with a Regents Diploma and Certificate in Practical Nursing. While working as a licensed practical nurse, he earned a Bachelor of Arts History from the University of North Carolina in Charlotte and was the first African-American student body president to serve 2 terms and become a member of the Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. All right. Sounds like I'm reading Barack Obama's biography already. He then pursued a Master of Arts in Counseling and Human Development from the University of Rochester and completed his postgraduate studies at the CUNY Graduate Center. Dr. Griffith received his Doctorate of Philosophy degree in Urban Education on May 27, 2015. And many of you know that he actually received this degree after passing away, and many of you were there to support him and his memory, and we thank you for being there. He was a lifelong mentor to urban youth, whose 10-year career in education included multiple leadership posts at CUNY Prep School, Groundwork, and Medgar Evers College, where he served as the Assistant Provost for Student Success in the Office of Academic Affairs, then became the Acting Dean of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. His groundbreaking work at CUNY Prep School and Medgar Evers College are the blueprints that will ensure student success for generations to come. He is survived by his mother, Carlia, and his son, Darius. And as we approach Mother's Day this Sunday, it's so important that we continue to lift him up, because I can only imagine that Mother's Day is just simply not the same on that day. I know that he loved his family, loved his mother, loved his son so greatly, and it's an honor for them to be here today, but we should continue and must continue to hold him up in spirit. Today is a celebration of his life, legacy, and invaluable contributions to our youth, the 35th Council District, the Borough of Brooklyn, and the City of New York. And I just want to say, we have to do more in order to tell the stories of Dr. Dean Derrick Griffith. When we think about African American men, and we think about how they are portrayed in news media, television, magazines, cinema, we don't get an opportunity to see and celebrate dynamic, empowering, and inspiring men, such as Dean Dr. Derrick Griffith, who has made such a profound impact on the lives of thousands of young people who are now better because he was. And we must continue to lift up those stories, and we must continue to tell our own stories about who we are and our accomplishments and those that we lift up. As long as we continue to allow others to tell our story and our legacy and to determine who is important in our history and our culture, we'll never be able to have the life and the legacy that so many of our young people deserve. They need those stories to know what is possible. They cannot be what they do not see, and it's important for us to tell his story and so many others, because there are so many dynamic African American men all across this country who do the work quietly and silently and never look for applause. And it's unfortunate that we are here today for a street co-naming, that his death and his tragedy had to be what allowed us to tell his story. Let's continue to tell his story and to celebrate so many other stories and histories and legacies of our people as we continue to move forward. At this time, I would like to recognize Dr. Rudy Crew, the president of Medgar Evers College, who is continuing to do incredible, groundbreaking work to make sure that Medgar Evers continues to be and rises to the top to be the state-of-the-art school with all of the amenities, educational opportunities, and advancement that every student here at Medgar Evers College deserves. I'm so proud of his work with the Pt1 initiative, and this was also work that Dr. Dean Derrick Griffith shared in, the ability to allow our young people all the way from pre-K up until they enter college so that they are prepared to be able to do all of the academic work that's offered here at Medgar Evers College, and they have done a phenomenal job at advancing our young people from a very early age. Thank you, and I'd like to bring up Dr. Rudy Crew.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Cumbo. It's a pleasure to be here. First, let me express my appreciation to you. On behalf of this entire college, our faculty, our student body, all of the people who are assembled here this afternoon, let me assure you that we take this with great pride and with a tremendous amount of hurt still, actually, because Derrick is gone, but he's still here with us in spirit in many ways. But I thank you very much for all that you have done on behalf of the college and continue to do on behalf of this college. This is a bittersweet moment. All of us knew Dr. Griffith. All of us saw him bounce around this campus, student in hand. Gotta go something. Prez, I don't have time for you right now. Smiling with that beautiful smile that always invited you into his life. I cannot say enough about the spirit of a person who embodies everything we go to church for.
That's right.
Who understood the power of this institution, and he carried that in his gait. He was not afraid to ask hard questions. In fact, the very first person I met during the interview, when I was coming through that process, was Dr. Griffith. And he said to me, "Do you remember me?" I said, "No, son, I do not." He said, "Well, you were chancellor when I was coming through. And you should know me because I started a school." I said, "Well, tell me about why are you here?" He said, "Because I graduated from that job to come to this job. And the more I got to know Derrick, the more I knew exactly what he was saying. He came here because he had a mission. All of us should be so blessed in our lives not to have a street named after us, but to have a mission to which you commit and dedicate your life. I can't help but think every time we are assembled like this, that we all have, Councilmember Cumbo said this, we all have a story to tell. We all have a journey that we've been on. And that somehow or another, as the good Lord would allow, our journey will continue. The question will be, what's in our mind as we're taking step by step through trial and tribulation, through mean streets, through bad things that happen to us, through challenges that arise. What's in our heart and our mind as we greet new people coming to our campus for the first time, striving to be something and yet not being able to even say out loud what it is. What is in our hearts should be exactly what Dr. Griffith brought to us and gave us, and we should never lose, which is this constant vigilance and an understanding of who we are as people, who we will be as a unified body, and what our mission on this earth is about. Yes, we will name a street, and I thank you again, Lori, for the honor of allowing all of us to be here to do the work that you and members of your staff has put forward, because really it has been you. But really, this is about naming this section, this chapter in our lives. And to his family who's here, are they here? To your family, to your mom, Darius, to you, to all those who are going to hear or see this video or think it's a video. I'm not sure what to call these things no more. But to everybody, please know that when anybody speaks reverently about higher education in Brooklyn, it will never let it come out of a mind or a mouth of somebody from Medgar Evers College that the person that we hold to the highest standard is Derrick Griffith. I thank you very much for this time, and again, on behalf of the faculty, our staff and students, all the people assembled here this afternoon, it's my honor to be here and to thank you so much, Lori, for allowing us to share in this moment. Should I introduce John?
Thank you. I'm very pleased that we've been joined by State Senator Jesse Hamilton, whose office is actually right across the street. This is so important because this gives us an opportunity when our next generation comes to be able to point up and they say, who is Dr. Dean Derrick Griffith, that we will be able to tell the story of who he is. And I would like to bring Senator Hamilton forward to bring greetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Lori Cumbo. As we stand here today to remember Dr. Griffith and his legacy on educating our young children, which is something that's been a passion of mine for many years. We always say many are called, but few are chosen. And Dr. Griffith was chosen to lead us, our children, educate them from high school, creating the Medgar Evers Preparatory High School, going to college here at Medgar Evers. And Medgar Evers is an institution, and we must teach our children our legacy. 2 weeks ago, we had a young female tech challenge here at Medgar Evers. And I asked the young ladies from Brownsville, where are you? And they said, we're at Medgar Evers College. And then I asked them, who was Medgar Evers? And no one can answer the question. I said, something is wrong here, that our children don't know their history. And Dr. Griffith was part of that history for our children to learn. And if our children don't know their history, how can they go into the future? There's something wrong with this equation. And to the people who are still here, Dr. Crew, Dr. Castro, who have dedicated their lives to educating our children, we have to ask ourselves, Dr. Griffith dedicated his life. to educating our children? What are we doing to make sure our children are educated? Not like in Brownsville, only 13% of our children are reading that grade level. If that was Park Slope or Brooklyn Heights, people would be protesting every day. So Dr. Griffith laid down a legacy. He set a narrative on what we have to do and how we have to commit ourselves. As the neighborhood is changing, as the skill sets are being raised higher for our children to make it in this community, everybody standing here should be trying to figure out, what are we going to do for our next generation? How will we follow in the footsteps of Dr. Griffith and making sure our children are educated? So yesterday, City Councilman Lori Cumbo, we got together. We're going to introduce legislation that Black history is taught year-round in our schools. It's taught from kindergarten to the 12th grade. We can no longer sit back and just allow slavery, Dr. King, Harriet Tubman, and Frederick Douglass to be all of Black history. We've done so much more than that. In the legacy of people who've been committed to making this America what it is today. So many Black scientists, mathematicians, the Harlem Renaissance. We need to get this legacy going. So then there's some pushback. When I say we want African American history to be taught from kindergarten, so our children can see positive role models of themselves. We're not just basketball players, boxers, entertainers. We're much more than that. The African diaspora has affected the entire world. And so the legacy of Dr. Griffith has to be kept alive. And we all should be dedicated to keeping his legacy alive. And to the family, God bless you. For a mother, raising such a young, dynamic man, and to the son, we are here for you, and to make sure you live your father's dream. Thank you very much.